Fill the room with the juice. That's a lot of loot. That bit fire. Yeah, she kinda cute.
Don't need any more nigger big shots.
Welcome back to the channel, my bipolar babies. So you guys, I have not done a mental health, bipolar, anything kind of video in a while. So I wanted to go ahead and do one today. Now, quick update with everything going on with me and my medication. I'm not gonna lie. There are days where I just do not take my medication. I forget to take my medication. Then I remember to take my medication. And it's actually kind of interesting how when I don't take my medication, I instantly do not care to eat. It's almost like I need my medication to eat at this point, or I just won't have an appetite, which is just really frustrating. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but you know, after this video, I will be taking my medication because I didn't take it yesterday. And see what I'm saying? It's just like once you get on your medication and you're stable and you're ready to go and you're sleeping and waking up and having this routine, it just becomes like, oh, I'm good. I don't need my medication anymore. And it's like, no, you do. And it just sucks. So if you are going through anything like that that has to do with mental illness, bipolar disorder 1, 2, all of them, anything, depression, seasonal depression, just know your girl is right there with you, okay? I'm right there with you. So let's hop into this reaction. I have watched this video before, I believe. I think it was last year, a couple months ago, something like that. But it is called What Does Bipolar Feel Like? What does being bipolar feel like? And honestly, I need to remind myself because sometimes I be feeling like I'm fine. And then I'm like, wait a second. Did I take my medication? Wait a second. Why am I being moody today? Wait, I didn't eat today. Wait, have I worked out yet? Oh, why is my brain going from left to right? You know what I'm saying? If you have it, you know what I'm talking about. So let's just hop in it, get our brains refreshed on what we're supposed to be doing and looking for and thinking and, you know. The community. We're here. I hug you, you hug me. And it's fine.
Hey everybody,
Hi.
Happy Thursday. Now today's question is all about bipolar 1 disorder.
Hi,
What is
that's
it
me.
and how can it feel to those who have it? And just as a reminder, I release videos on Mondays and on Thursdays. So make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on so that you don't miss out. Now to get into what bipolar 1 disorder is, first I want to read to you what the diagnostic criteria is. And if you don't know what I mean by diagnostic criteria, just know that this is what mental health professionals like myself use to help them determine what mental illness you have. They look into the DSM or other manual, depending on what country you live in, and they check to see if your symptoms line up with the diagnosis they are considering. With all that said, in order to be diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder, you must meet the criteria for a manic episode. Now, the manic episode may have a hypomanic, meaning not
Literally
quite
me.
as high leveled, or maybe
I'm
a depressive
manic! No, I'm
episode, swinging way into the low side, feeling super depressed. So it may have one of those episodes before or after it, but you just have to meet the criteria for a manic episode. And in order to do that, you must have a distinct period of abnormality and persistently elevated, expansive, or irritable moods,
so irritable.
and abnormally and persistently increased goal-directed activity or energy.
Me.
And this has to last for at least 1 week and present most of the day, nearly every day. And during this period, you must also have 3 or more of the following symptoms. Number 1, inflated self-esteem or grandiosity. Number 2, decreased
I call that
need
my
for sleep.
personality.
You could feel rested maybe after only 3 hours or so.
Who needs sleep?
Number 3,
I have
you
insomnia.
are more talkative than usual or feel
That's why I have a
internal
channel. I talk all the
pressure to
time.
keep
I'm talking over her.
In my practice, I notice this when I can't seem to get a word in with a patient and they just keep talking almost without taking a breath. Number 4, you can have a flight of ideas or feel like your thoughts are racing.
Ooh, was that not
this
earlier?
Is really when we feel like we're having way too many good ideas and we can't even capture them all.
Bruh.
Many of my patients have said that this can feel like all their good ideas are just slipping through their fingers.
The cracks.
Number 5, distractibility. And this is kind of self-explanatory, but we can be easily pulled into things that aren't important or struggle to stay on topic.
Bruh.
Number 6, an increase in goal-oriented activity. This can be at work, school, socially. We can even be overly sexual or feel agitated.
Oh, not the
And in my experience,
hypersexualities.
most of my patients will be focused on one major thing, like this presentation they want to put together for work, or a party that they're going to throw. It's going to be the best thing ever. Or they just feel really irritated with anything and everything. And number 7, and the last one, is excessive involvement in activities that have a high potential for painful consequences. This is the one that really
I haven't been there in a minute.
This is when we
That's
go
like
on
high
shopping
school.
sprees, or just overspend in general. We can have a sexual encounter that we usually wouldn't. We can foolishly invest money, and the list can go on and on and on. Pretty much, we do things that we normally wouldn't. And once we come down from this manic episode that we've been in, these are the things that can push us down into that depressive episode, because we can feel extreme guilt, embarrassment, or just upset with the choices that we made.
Yikes. It's
Now,
taking me
this
back.
manic episode must impair our ability to function in our life, socially, at work or school. You know the drill. This comes along with all diagnostic criteria. But bipolar 1 cannot be due to a medical condition or induced by drugs or medication, other than an antidepressant. Because if you aren't aware, when we're misdiagnosed as having depression, which happens all the time,
That happened to me.
then we'll put us on an antidepressant when we really have bipolar 1 disorder. And that antidepressant has the ability to push us into a manic episode, because a lot of antidepressants have this stimulating response and this stimulating symptom that they give. And so if we're feeling really depressed, it can push us straight out of that and all the way into mania.
Mm-hmm.
And many of my patients have had this happen. And that's why it's really, really important to track our symptoms, ask any question that we may have, and ensure that we are properly diagnosed. Because remember, you know yourself and your experience best. Now, the final part of this question is, what can bipolar 1 feel like to someone who has it? And that's honestly going to be really, really hard for me to describe fully, because, as you know, everyone is different. So I encourage any of you who have bipolar 1 disorder to leave in the comments how it feels to you. What's your experience? And that way, we can all learn from one another and be more informed and educated. But based on my experience in my office, bipolar 1 disorder can feel good at times, because mania can be a little euphoric.
Yawn.
But this feeling doesn't always last very long.
It doesn't.
But when my patients are sort of ramping up into this manic episode, they can really struggle to see it as a problem.
Oh,
they
yeah.
feel good about how productive
I'm like,
they're
everything is
being,
great. What are you
really
talking about?
enjoying the surge of energy, because usually this
Love
comes
it.
out of a depressive episode. So they're like, ooh, goody.
Yeah.
And I've also had patients and viewers tell me that mania can often be really, really uncomfortable, almost like you want to just crawl out of your skin. And if we find ourselves having a mixed episode, when we have both mania and depression happening at the same time,
Oh my God.
we can feel really irritable
That
and uncomfortable.
is the scariest.
And this can
I
also
feel
happen
crazy
if someone
when
stops
that's
us
happening.
from doing what we want
Crazy.
when we're manic, or sort of gets in the way of us engaging in our manic behavior. And I've had this happen in sessions. When I notice a patient is manic and I try to intervene, they can get really upset and be quick to
shut up.
anger.
I'm fine.
So know that while mania can feel good at times, that's not always the case. Just like any mental illness, we have to ask questions and seek to understand what it's like for the person in our life who has bipolar disorder. That way, we can better understand them and their experience. And finally, I just want to talk about the come down. Often when people talk about bipolar disorder, they talk about the mania or the depression, forgetting that there's this time in between. And following a manic episode, like I mentioned briefly before, it's very common for someone to be filled with shame, embarrassment, and guilt. So being a little understanding and compassionate can go a long way during this time frame. I mean, imagine if you didn't feel like yourself. You weren't able to make thoughtful decisions, and you felt like you were on top of the world, only to come down and realize that you did things you wish you hadn't. That can be really hard.
It's annoying.
And until we find the right medication,
So
therapy, and get to know our own early signs of mania, that's really, really helpful, by the way. But we can have episodes like this every few months or so. So if you think that you may have bipolar 1 disorder, just know that you can live a very full and wonderful life. You just have to find the treatment that works best for you.
I hope so.
And I hope this information was helpful.
It was.
Please let me know if I left anything out, or if you have any other thoughts that you would like to share. Share those down in the comments, and I will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Now, what I have to add to that is she ain't ever lying. Let me tell you something. the way I feel sometimes is kind of scary. Like, for example, I know when I am going to be depressed. A lot of people know when they're about to hit mania. I don't really care for those symptoms because for me, I feel like I understand my mania so much to where it's just like I can handle it. And I know a lot of people with bipolar disorder say that, but I really do feel that way, which again is not exactly healthy, but it is what it is. But when I'm about to be depressed or like when the depression is coming and I don't know that it's coming, but it's like seeping in, the weirdest things happen. Like, for example, let's say something happens that I don't like, right? I will immediately start having suicidal like thoughts. I may not have ideations. I may not be thinking about I may not be thinking of the action, but I'll have these quick little like.
This is exactly why I should have died last year.
Like it would just come out right quick like that. Like it's not funny, but that is really how it is. Or it'll be like, this is exactly why, I should have been, I should have died instead of being the twin that survived. I was a twin that survived. So that's like another thing that comes out. Like it's crazy. And then normally when that happens, I'll have to go work out. Like I will be like, all right, let me go work out. Let me go do something. Or let me go take my medication. Or like, let me just do something to see if I can like just get that mindset just out of my brain, if that makes sense. Like, for example, today, I literally was just like, look, I got to take my medication. But because I have to take other medication, like for my acne, I have to like space out when I take it. So it's funny that she literally is saying that it becomes like nothing's wrong with me kind of thing. But then the second you start getting irritable, oh my gosh, bro. Like, I feel like my irritability is just on a whole nother spectrum. It's just like, you really got to gauge how to talk to me to understand how to talk to me every single day, if that makes sense. Like, I'm one of those people that like you're not going to talk to every single day, because if I talk to you every single day, I may be in a different mood and you may not like that, and I may not be able to control it. So it's like I have to really step back to make sure that like what I'm saying or putting out there is like enough. That's why I'll have like moments where I'm like, you know what, guys, I can't film. I cannot film. I can't be on social media. I love you guys. I don't know how long this is going to last, because I never really do know how long it's going to last. I hope that I get out of it and I'm back in my mania, or I'm back, to the level that I need to be on medication wise and being balanced. But sometimes I just never know, and it's just like one thing. I wish I could just wake up one day and just not have this disorder. But at the same time, I feel like there's so much of my personality wrapped into it that it's like, I don't see it as the negative that I used to see it back in the day. But I hope you like this video. Anyways, let me know if you have bipolar disorder 1 or 2. If you're brand new here and you didn't know I had bipolar disorder, welcome. Ha! Your girl is a little whatever. I don't like to say it because I don't think I'm that, but I'm not normal, apparently, medically speaking. But we still push, okay? Push your T, and we out. Easy money. If you like this and you want more like videos to do with mental illness, please let me know what you have, if it's completely separate from bipolar, because I want to learn more about other mental illnesses, of course. And I want to know, what it's like, because obviously I know what it's like to be bipolar, but I may not know what it's like to be something completely different. So let me know that, T. Other than that, you guys have a beautiful day. I love you so much. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Coupe in the lot, 12 for a squat, busting all the bells out the box, hit the lick with the box.